Hello and a very warm welcome to ET Studios at Brand Equity Martech Plus Summit powered by CleverTap. I'm your host Divina Lasson, and on this series, we're going to deep dive into how exactly brands are crafting hyper-personalized journeys, how leading brands, in fact, elevate their customer engagement and experiences. Joining me are very esteemed guests today. Shamik Banerjee, founding member and CMO Apollo 24/7, and Abhishek Gupta, COO CleverTap. Welcome, gentlemen. It's such a pleasure to have you here on ET Studios. Thanks so much for joining. It'll be great to get your insights really on how leading brands like yours, Shamik, are crafting hyper-personalized experiences to connect best with your audiences. At the onset, could you help with giving us an overview on how Martech is really impacting the healthcare sector today?
You know, I've been doing marketing for the last 24 years now. It was so easy 24 years back,
Sure.
right? You make one advertisement, you put all your heart and soul, the two TV channels, no debate, put it there, wait for Cannes to nominate you. But today it's that was scarcity, right?
Yes.
That was scarcity of finding out different options. Today the problems are on abundance. We have got so much of options, so much of things to do, so much, and it's so easy to lose your path
Yep,
in this
yep.
space. I come from a healthcare space, and suppose I'm a travel company, and suppose in a family is a daughter and a parents. A daughter wants to go with his boyfriend to a foreign trip. She's searching, and you then send things to your father.
Yeah.
It's still a little funny. You're smiling, but think about the same thing in healthcare.
Sure. Okay.
Someone is
Yes.
searching about cancer,
Yes.
and then you're taking that data and telling someone that
Yes. Yes.
you have a cancer. You have to be very responsible.
Absolutely.
So in healthcare,
Absolutely.
it's a very different ball game. While customer relationship, understanding their need, and then giving the relevant thing is very important, but responsibility is very core to the overall things. And we many a times even we do go and find a check on us that are we doing the right thing.
Sure, absolutely.
Because we have to be very, very responsible. And we have been doing this for the last 40 years, and we want to stay to the course. But what Martech did to us in the last 5-6 years is had built a lot of efficiency in the system. What we used to do slowly, now we can do much faster, much efficiently, much precision. And we work with few of the best stacks, and CleverTap is one of them. And I think what CleverTap did is took us a step up in terms of all our efforts and integrated our entire function together. So that's what we are very happy about.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for that little picture that you painted there. Abhishek, it'll be very interesting to get your perspective because, of course, as CleverTap, you work across the sector, different companies, industries, and countries actually as a whole. So in your experience, how do you see Martech really impacting? Let's talk about the healthcare sector for now.
Yeah, so if we look at it, I think Shamik said it very nicely when he said marketing used to be simple.
Yes.
And one ad would serve everyone. Today we are talking about personalization at a level where every consumer is expecting something which is highly personalized for them.
Yes, absolutely.
Which means for marketeers, the world has changed significantly. Now you have to go to the segment of one, every single consumer, giving them that experience which they truly desire. And there is a lot of statistics that has come out in recent times which show that the world has changed. The world as we know it has totally shifted. There has been a paradigm shift. There was a time when personalization was like a nice to have. Today is a must have.
It's a must, yes.
Like there are studies which show that 91% of the consumers expect personalization when brands engage with them.
Sure.
Which means that you have to know me to serve me. And there is a lot of subtle detail in it, right? Consumers want to be served in the best possible manner. And in healthcare, right, which is such a sensitive and a high impact area, like it touches lives of everyone.
Absolutely.
There is a lot of benefit that comes when the marketing is personalized, when the marketing is contextualized in a given situation. Because let's say, take an example, right? If you're going for a diagnostic test, you have something on your mind.
Yeah.
And at that point, when a communication that is entirely relevant to you, that is helpful to you in that context comes along, when the brands engage with you in a manner in which they're trying to help you, that helps.
Yeah.
And those experiences, they last forever. Like there is a saying, right? People never forget how you make them feel. So in the world of Martech, I think consumer experiences are shaping the perception of brand, and so it's very important to make sure that we make consumers feel good uh, at all touch points.
Absolutely, absolutely. The emotional quotient is so high and so integral to all customer journeys
Yeah.
here. Yeah, wonderful. Shamik, so yeah, let's get you in on this aspect of hyper personalization, right? What does it really mean in the healthcare sector to create that hyper personalized experience for your customers? And how do you assess the success of your campaigns and how do you measure that?
We'll come to campaigns later. Let's talk about hyper personalization in
Sure.
healthcare. And we are very proud of something that we have been working for last 10 years, right? I spoke about it in the past, and it's called Ask Apollo.
Okay.
So when something comes to Google or searching on Google, right? What Google does is they go to the most searched documents that are available on the web,
Yeah.
right? And what is documented, which are more research papers, more acute diseases and case studies.
Yes.
So when you search backache, right, it will show cancer.
Yes, that's true.
But
Yes.
in reality, it is not that. So
Absolutely.
what we did is we had 93 million people data with us, and we kept tracking our doctor and patient interactions over the last 10 years.
Yep.
And we got 5 million of such interactions. That when a patient asks, answers something what the doctor asks and what he replies back. So those interaction, based on that, we could create a sort of a engine, and we are calling it Ask Apollo.
Okay. Okay.
Which actually tells you what is the condition that you have, and that's complete hyperpersonalization. And I think what I'm trying to say is that hyperpersonalization means you have to get more data which is
Yes.
relevant to that
Yes,
continuum,
yes.
that interaction, because customer relationship management is not about customer investment management or revenue management, right? It's about how you build the relationship stronger. You ask a question, he
Yeah.
replies.
Yeah.
You reply back, and
Yeah.
you end up to a solution.
Yes,
And
yes.
that's what we try to do.
Yes.
So in Ask Apollo, it covers about 17,000 diseases. And you'll be stark to know that even the best doctor in the country in his lifetime would have not seen more than 400 to 450
Sure, yeah.
ailments
Yeah.
in his lifetime. So when you go to an Apollo, you'll see a doctor also typing on the system. He's actually talking to the Ask Apollo.
Wow.
And he also consults because he gets much more exposure.
Wonderful.
So that's hyper-personalization for us. Now, bringing that to campaigns is a very, very,
Yes.
because we all have our sales targets,
Yes.
numbers, where how much is too much is a big question. And we did go wrong. Initially, before we had CleverTap, I remember I used to go with a hammer and just huge, heavy hammer and beat everyone up. And I did get a lot of feedback that what are you doing, right? COVID time, and I was, but then with time we realized that the importance, the responsibility I spoke about,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And I think CleverTap or all the entire Martech stack really helped us to take our knowledge, build that personalization, and then deliver it in the right time to the
Yes.
right person.
Yes.
But having said that, we still have a lot of challenge in India because India is still a one-screen household, right? We have one TV, one laptop. We do have different phones now,
Yes.
but still have one laptop, one TV, and the connected TVs. So I really don't know who is that body.
Right.
So
right.
once I think we are going in the right direction, but once we know who is that body and what I should talk to him, I think we'll get much more effective.
Yeah,
But we're
absolutely.
on that path. I'm sure we're very hopeful that we're there.
I'm sure. But so keeping these challenges in mind, then how do you measure? What are some of the metrics that you use for measuring the efficacy of your strategies?
See, generally, the easiest measure is return on investment or return on marketing
Yes.
spend and things like that. But what we generally measure is the customer depending on us
Wow. Yes.
on a continuum,
Sure.
right? It's not about
Wonderful.
is he coming back every month? I don't want him to come every month, right? I don't want. But is he depending on us?
Yes. Yes.
Is he and we have got clear yardsticks because of our legacy and how we can do. We keep on finding out that is he buying so in e-commerce there are two concepts called, are you buying the cart or are you buying the top up, right? So are you buying that one medicine, one not available, or are you buying the full prescription
Sure.
from us?
Yes.
Those are the yardsticks we manage.
Okay.
And
okay.
we try and find out if we miss out on someone, how we can actually address that problem.
Okay. Sure.
And that's where the entire tech ecosystem comes into play.
Okay, wonderful. That's really interesting. So, no conversation on campaigns and effectively dealing with your customers can be had without talking about the role of data, right? And your real time engagement, your real time insights. Can you tell us a little bit about this? How this has impacted your campaigns as well? How you understand your customer behavior patterns as a result of your data analytics process?
Long way to go till we finish, but we are very proud of what we have. The strength of Apollo is the data. Apollo 24/7 mostly, because Apollo 24/7 is built on the data of the patient that is interacted, and they're all secure because we never take the PI. We take the medical history data, right? And for example, if you go to Apollo 24/7, and if you have ever been to an Apollo hospital or ever Apollo pharmacy and bought ever any medicine,
Yeah.
the moment you log into the system, everything comes there.
Sure. Yes.
Right? So data is the core of the system. Now, there's a big difference between data to information and then information to action.
Yep.
Right? So we are working on that portion very strongly. How does the data provides the information so that I can take an action?
Yes.
And that action becomes relevant, responsible, and right.
Yes.
Right? But to measure that, you still have those same yardsticks like ROAS or ROIs or how much happy your team is, right? So that's what we do.
Wonderful. Abhishek, again, your perspective here on how data and analytics is really impacting customer engagement, the customer journey from that perspective of the organizations implementing it.
Yeah, so in the world of Martech, actually in the overall world of customer experience today, consumers are leaving a lot of footprints behind.
Yeah,
right? Because when they come to the website, when they come to the app, even when they come to the store, there is a lot of data that is being created. And so today, data is the fuel. The key aspect is in terms of being able to use the data to create those meaningful and delightful experiences for the customers. And that's a very hard task, right? That's a very challenging thing. And what we've done is at CleverTap, we thought about the technology from a first principle standpoint. We realized that we are operating in a country, for example, just looking at India, a country of over 1 billion people.
Yes.
And there are 8 billion people on the planet, which means the sheer amount of data that will get created is going to be huge. And we need to be able to process this data to be able to give those critical insights to the brands such as Apollo 24/7 and help them create those delightful experiences. So we create a proprietary tech called Tesseract DB. It's a proprietary database that we created, which allows us to store massive amounts of data, process it in real time to serve the customers. Now, analytics is very, very crucial to this overall endeavor, because if we do not know what the customers are truly looking for, if we do not know both about their current and latent needs, we will not be able to serve.
Sure.
And one of the I would say the fascinating ways in which the analytics is actually coming to the surface today is like customers are not just one profile. Like we have different personas in a way. Like what we require in the morning could be different from what we require in the evening, for example, right? So the context, what a customer requires in a particular context is very, very crucial. And the insights that come from the data, they are actually having a massive impact in terms of the customer experience, but also on businesses in terms of being able to convert more and more customers and serve them better. Like for example, there are simple examples like, let's say, what is the best time to engage a user? Like having that level of basic insight.
Sure. Yeah.
When should you reach out to a customer? Should it be 9 o'clock in the evening?
Sure.
Should it be 8:55 in the morning? That has a massive impact. What kind of tonality they appreciate?
Yes.
Being able to converse with them in a manner in which they want to be conversed with. That has a very big impact. So today, I think there is a massive amount of data, and the data is actually driving a massive amount of transformation.
Sure. And conversely, if you're not aware actually of these, as you say, simple factors, but so critical, it could lead to your customers dropping out and you might lose out on your customers. So it's really an essential set of information for brands.
It is, like Shamik said it, right? There is a fine balance, right?
Yes.
There is a very fine line that exists between like when do you say it's sufficient or when is it too much? Like some people really we had a very interesting insight at one point where we learned, like typically you would think that if someone gets too much messaging, that's not good. At some point, lot of diminishing returns sets in.
Yes.
But there were a set of people who actually looked at it as content.
Okay.
There is some interesting
There
thing
you
to
go.
learn,
Sure.
some interesting thing to know
Sure.
about. And they weren't really looking to say, give me less. They were like, give me more because I appreciate it.
Wow. Yeah.
But that would not have been possible without actually going through the data and truly having
Understanding.
the insight
Yes.
with respect to these
Yes,
customers.
wonderful. Great. Thanks for that example. So, Shamik, can you give us a little bit of insight maybe on some of the strategies that you have in the pipeline at Apollo 24/7 when it comes to innovation, in engaging your customers, and really creating those hyper personalized experiences? What can we look forward to?
Yeah, I think something very fascinating you should look forward to. See, what we have done till now in the last 4 years, we created the accessibility to healthcare, right? We gave people the access to the best doctors, medicine delivery, test. We personally, we very strongly believe that accessibility will only work if I can provide the affordability,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Without the affordability, accessibility just makes no sense.
Sure, yes.
So now the next you should expect a lot around affordability.
Okay,
We are
wonderful.
working strongly around creating financial products
Sure.
that can help people to consume this business, which is not there in India.
Yes.
In India, there's no one who actually covers your doctor consultation or medicine buying.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We are taking this big plunge ahead, and we are trying to bring in a way to ensure not only your hospitalization when you need to be hospitalized, but
Yeah.
also your acute healthcare needs. And to do that, I think personalization is the key, right?
Absolutely.
We do not want to, again, we want to use all the resources and all the information we have about our own customers. I'm not talking about the world.
Yeah.
The people who are working with us, people who are transacting on us, how do we solve their problems? How do we now solve their affordability problems?
Wonderful.
Be it a financial instrument like credit card or insurance, how do I actually help him
Yes. Yes.
to use our service in the most efficient and the most timely fashion,
Yes.
right? We believe that timely intervention of healthcare can save a lot about your health,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
and affordability is the key to it, because if you don't see a doctor and just pop a pill, and you then, it's a challenge. It's a
Yeah.
challenge, and if you give that access, we can actually manage healthcare much better. We don't have as many beds as India is required,
No.
so you have to really make it work. And then this entire philosophy needs to be backed by data,
Yes.
Martech, and how we communicate and make things relevant. As you rightly said, if I give him the right content, he's very happy to consume. He's very happy, and I was amazed to see the mails that we send to people. Unheard of open rates we see, because we do not give anything apart from information there. Unheard of, and those are things that really opens our mind, that if we be really relevant to them in the right time, right person,
Yes.
right information, you have a lot to do.
Wonderful, exciting. Well, we look forward to all these innovations that are going to come through. Abhishek, before we wrap up, any trends as well that you can leave us with to look forward to in the space of Martech, especially in the healthcare sector?
Yeah, so we have an interesting concept at CleverTap called it the personalization ladder. We have like different levels that we have against which we assess how the brands are actually engaging with the consumers. And what we are seeing at a broad-based level is the personalization as a concept, right? Hyper personalization in particular. I think it has been spoken about for a long period of time, but what we are seeing today is a decisive shift that is happening. Brands are looking at like there's two trends which I'm seeing. One is brands are personalizing more and more experiences of their consumers, which means that they have been able to understand and navigate the customer journeys much better to be able to deliver those experiences. And second is, which is very interesting, is practically every company looks at itself as a provider of service, but
Yes.
also as an edtech company.
Sure.
Which
Wow,
is
yes.
educating the consumers at
Yes.
every touch point, making them aware about what you can possibly do to help them, is an important part of managing that customer journey. So we're seeing a
Absolutely.
profound change that is happening in the society today. And I think Martech has a role to play in making all of that change happen.
Yes, wonderful. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for being here and sharing all your insights here on ET Studios. It's been a pleasure to have you.
Thank you
so
very much.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, that's all we have for you on this episode of ET Studios, coming to you from Martech Plus, powered by CleverTap. It's been an absolute pleasure to present you this episode, but do stay tuned for much more in-depth conversation. Until next time, many thanks for watching.